The terms austerity, cost-cutting, reducing public expenditure have all been thrown around by President William Ruto's administration since 2022. But whatever the government is actually doing to achieve that is not enough. This is according to the World Bank. Now, the lender has released its latest public finance review for Kenya, and it has some strong suggestions for the government if it wants to achieve spending efficiency and lower its debt-to-GDP ratio, which currently stands at 65.5%. So here's a quick look at some of the suggestions the bank is giving for Kenya to save money and tame the burgeoning national wage bill. Number 1, stop hiring civil servants for 2 years. The World Bank suggests automation across the national and county governments to reduce staff in routine administrative roles. It wants a skills audit and redeployment of existing staff done rather than prioritizing new hires. But the lender says certain priority sectors with growing needs, such as education, will need to be exempted from this hiring freeze. Now, for some perspective, the number of Kenya's public servants stood at just over 968,000 in 2024. County governments accounted for about 22% of this. The problem becomes that only 6 out of the 47 counties met the 35% wage to bill revenue ratio during the last financial year. Now, this is according to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. What you end up then having is a situation whereby while the national government meets this ratio, combined with the other counties, the wage bill is unsustainable. The World Bank has flagged systemic inefficiencies in HR management and payroll control as a major contributor to the high public wage bill. It suggests a unified HR information system to manage the entire hire-to-retire process across the public sector and an audit of payroll registers at both government levels to weed out ghost workers. Now, for instance, the lender says if Kenya addressed payroll system weaknesses between 2019 and 2023, it could have saved up to 5.4 billion shillings just by flashing out ghost workers. The government will also have saved 3.4 billion shillings from irregular domestic travel and foreign travel allowances. Speaking of travel and allowances, the World Bank also wants the government to slash its travel-related budget, which is currently estimated to be 19.6 billion shillings, by half. It also says the allowance policies are incoherent and need streamlining because they are wasting taxpayers' money. How so, you ask? Well, according to the lender, public officials are overusing allowances and there's a potential risk of double compensation. It argues that these allowances have been used to supplement basic pay rather than rewards for specific jobs or work performance. The World Bank notes that this undermines productivity as staff are frequently absent from their duty stations to seek per diems. It says the per diem practice has led to the growth of committees, meetings, and delays in administrative processes and decision-making. Now, the bank wants travel frequency and in-country workshop locations regulated and per diems on foreign trips standardized with international rates, such as those of the United Nations Development Programme. Per the World Bank's analysis, a Kenyan civil servant is paid an average of 66k shillings daily per diem while on a trip to the United States. If the rates are standardized using the UNDP rate, the average daily cost per officer would be 59k shillings. Let's look at the income tax. The World Bank suggests changes to Kenya's personal income tax brackets. One is the introduction of a 15% income tax rate category for those earning between 24k and 32k a month. The other is a rate increase from 35 to 38% for those making over 800k. The bank also wants Kenya to split the broad 30% income tax bracket and have those earning between 32k and 167k a month pay 25%, while those paid between 167k and 500k put in the 32.5% band. At the same time, the lender wants Kenyans earning less than 32k a month exempted from housing levy deductions. Similarly, the World Bank wants the government to waive shift contributions for informal workers and low earners in the formal sector. Instead, it says the government should finance contributions for these groups and instead focus on formal sector workers who make above that. Regarding the other taxes, the World Bank wants high excess duty levied on alcoholic beverages and tobacco products in the country. It argues that it has the potential to return revenue to 2016 levels. The bank is also proposing the adoption of a carbon tax in Kenya. 2/3 of this will be on the transport sector because of fossil fuel burning. The other issue has to do with the accountability issues the Auditor General's office has previously raised about the eCitizen platform, where millions of shillings collected using the platform could not be traced in government financial records. The World Bank says the scope of this platform should be expanded to handle a higher volume of transactions and ensure seamless integration with the Treasury IT ecosystem. Now, for detailed breakdowns on how each of these suggestions would translate to cost cutting according to the World Bank, check out www.citizen.digital/business.